Welcome into Views from the Stands. I am your host, Stevie B, Steve Brennan, and I got my man with me, Mr. G Mike, on a Tuesday, 7 p.m., baby, our new time slot. How you feeling, my man?
Feeling good, feeling right, feeling good, baby.
There we go, man. Like I said before, man, it's Mr. G Mike, and I am your host, Stevie B, Steve Brennan, and we have an absolutely fun show for you tonight. We have two brand new champions in college basketball. We're going to go ahead and break that one down for you, and you can't tell by the background. One makes me a little bit more excited than the other one does. We got some big news coming out of the NBA this afternoon. A crazy firing that just happened. We're going to break that down, where our thoughts are, what we actually think happened. That one's a really interesting conversation there. We got a new record in the NHL that may never be broken. That's a big one there too, and a huge all-star contract in baseball. And of course, we're going to close it out with one of our favorites, our Downbad Debate. Before we get to that one, let's go ahead and pay some bills, Mr. G Mike. Let the people know what you have going on, man.
Yes, sir. Guys, I want a Telegram channel where we offer sports gambling slips, just like one last night with UF winning it all for the men's basketball national championship. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We hit on that. $10 a month. We can get you anywhere from $50 to $100 to $150 a day. You'll see the link get brought up on the chat if you're watching the episode live. If not, if you're watching the recorded episode, you'll see it pop up on your screen, or you'll see my social media, and you can just go into my DM. We'll start a conversation to get you into the channel and get you some money and get you some wins and get you some greens, baby.
There we go, man. There's a couple companies you want to go ahead and shout out to that's been helping us out along this journey, man. That's Varsity Sports Nation, man. It's your premier sports app, man. You want high school sports, they got you. They want live college sports, they got you as well, man. You want content like you're watching right now, they got you with that as well. The best part is it's a convenient app that you can download on your iOS, your Android, Roku TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, pretty much any of your socials as well. You can catch up on the shows that they have. They have other great content as well. So support the people that support us. And while you're there, you can check us out on demand as well. If you can't make the live shows, we really appreciate that as well. We got another one we want to give a shout out to as well. It's been a great partner with us as well. It's millions.co, man. And Millions is a great new app that's out there. You can check out a lot of interviews. There's a lot of interactions with athletes. It's a fun, great app. You can download that as well. So check them out and give us a like and subscribe on there as well. And if you can, like we've been asking for as well, I hate to do that for everybody that ever watches a podcast or any of that kind of stuff. It's all about the likes and subscribe. So if you could give us a like and subscribe, we truly, truly appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. Continue on with what we got going on. The easiest way to find out what we have going on is just hit the bell, and you'll be notified any single time that we go live and we post any content on there. We really genuinely appreciate it. We've been steadily making progress, guys, so we really appreciate everything you guys been, promoting us and putting us out there, man.
Yeah.
Really
Let's go. We love it.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into some news, man. We just had some news coming out of the NBA probably about 2-3 hours ago at this point, man. The Denver Nuggets have fired head coach Mike Malone and GM Calvin Booth with just 5 games left in the regular season. This one just blows my mind, man. Malone is the Nuggets' winningest coach in history. In the last 10 seasons, he's had the team record of 471 and 327, also leading them to their only championship in the 2022-2023 season.
Ooh.
Like I was saying before, Mr. G Mike, this one blew my mind. When you heard the news, what was your actions? What were you thinking? And you think this is going to affect them going forward to the postseason?
Dude, I was super surprised. Nonetheless, I think a week before playoffs, it's insanity. I mean, with a coach that just, took you to the finals like a few years back,
right?
Actually won the finals. Again, like you said, like you mentioned, the winningest head coach in franchise history. Like, that has to mean something, but yeah. I guess it doesn't. And a lot of people are wondering, why is it that he got fired? And he's not the only one that got fired, too. The GM got fired, Calvin Booth, at the same time, same day. And people are wondering, what's going on over there? Why are these guys getting fired? Like this and that. Well, I heard a couple rumors. One rumor is that Mike and Calvin have never gotten along. They've always had issues on who to draft, on who to trade for, on who to sign, on who to kick out, on who to give a 10-day contract, and the list goes on. Another rumor that I heard is that Mike lost control of the locker room. And when you lose control of the locker room, that kind of does make sense. Like, you can't be a coach of a successful, wanna-be successful team because you have one of the best players in the world in Nikola Jokic, that he's every single year putting up MVP numbers. Arguably, he could be the MVP again this year. And if you have players like him and Jamal Murray and other good role players that can solidify this team to make a deep playoff run, you got to have the locker room. If you lose the locker room, and it just doesn't work in your favor. And one of the reasons I heard that he lost the locker room is because he wasn't so hard on Jokic and Murray as the other players. Like, he wasn't giving them as much crap as he would with the other players. So it's just a few rumors there. But I personally think that has to do with personal issues and not basketball issues, because again, you don't do this when you're a week before playoffs.
Yeah, man. And what's wild about this firing too is I understand that the Nuggets were on a 4-game losing streak, but as of right now, they're still sitting fourth in the West. So it's not as if, even if he lost the locker room, you still have time to get it back. The guy is a great coach. I just find this one to be shocking. So this kind of goes back to a question I wanted to ask you about as well. The NBA, this is the second coach of a team that's making the playoffs. The West is really tight. So, I mean, you can lose a game and fall out possibly or something. But point being is that they're both two really good contending teams, and they both have just let go of their coaches within days before the playoffs. Is it turning into like coaching doesn't matter to the NBA, or is it that much a player-empowered league now that these guys that they don't even need coaching anymore? Or what's going on with this? This is just a weird trend of winning coaches.
I mean, that is a good point. The good point of bringing up it. Is it just like a player-driven league and anything the player says goes? I mean, honestly, I think that's a weak way of looking at it. Like, we shouldn't be doing that for these professional leagues, because players come and go all the time. The coaches come and go all the time too. But at the end of the day, you got to protect the logo. You got to protect the organization. And if you're just firing coaches because some players say so, and the reason I say that is because of the Memphis Grizzlies one that you just brought up.
Yeah.
It was a rumor that John Morant didn't like the play style, the schemes on offense, and he let it be known around the front office, and that's why their head coach got fired. So it's like, if it's coming down to that, man, like, I don't respect that. Like, it shouldn't be like that, man. It should be like, yo, you guys need to sit down and have a chat and come to a resolution. Or if you can't come to a good resolution and you just want to part ways, okay, we're gonna wait to the end of the season and we're gonna see what exactly we're gonna do with the player, with the coach, or with both.
No, and thanks for checking in, Brandon. I agree with what you're saying here as well, man. That it should be it shouldn't be that much of a players' league. And the NBA has always had this problem going for a little while, that it's been too much power given to the players, and the players trample all over anybody that tries to give them any kind of flack on how they play, or they need to play harder defense or any of that stuff. Which I hate to do. I don't want to bring. We're not going to do the '90s debate anymore or something like that. But it just seemed like it's a different league. These guys seem like they had tough, thicker skin back in the day than these guys do now. These guys don't seem as tough as they used to back in the day. But I guess the point we were talking about with that, with coaching and everything, do you think that this is going to affect the Nuggets going in, or do they just all of a sudden say, we know we're not good enough to go up against the OKCs of the world? Is that what this is just saying, you think, or what is this saying for the league and the team?
I think it's going to affect the Nuggets for sure. I just don't know if it's going to be positive or negative. The owner came out and said, like, yo, we wanted to fire these two guys because we feel like we fire them now, it's going to give a jolt to the team to want to actually go out there and play. Speaking on the last 4 games that they lost, 4-game losing streak, and the stuff that has been going off for the last month with the Denver Nuggets, if you haven't been looking at them, it's just been a negative trend. So he hopes it will turn into a positive trend. I just don't know if it's really going to happen. But one thing that you mentioned about the 90s, because you and I always have this argument, I have an argument with mostly everybody when it comes about basketball in the 90s than it is now. But that's one thing I do agree on with people that bring up the 90s and now. Back then, they could take anything. When it comes to sensitivity, when it comes to physical play, they could take it. Nowadays, it's just not like that. And that's one thing that I do agree on with the league that has been soft. Like, it's too sensitive out there, man. Very sensitive. And it needs to change because, like BG says, bro, it's the team over the player all day. The team's going to be there for years and years and years to come. The players max play maybe 22 seasons. If you're LeBron James, if you're a LeBron James caliber player, if you're just a role player, an average player, maybe 10 years, maybe
Yeah, and
15.
that's if you don't get mad at somebody for having a tweet that you didn't like or something like that as well. And you're already trying to get off the team as well. So I don't like that. That's the one thing I've always had issues with the NBA on. I don't know when that all kind of started, but in the last, let's go, decade or half a decade, somewhere in there, the way that these guys have handled themselves is just really soft. But they'll dunk on somebody and flex on them all day long. But yet it's like, man, you couldn't even handle it if someone was heckling you out there. That used to almost be like, that used to be part of the go to Madison Square Garden, you're getting yelled at. You get heckled, like that's just how it is. But now it's not the same as it used to be. But some for the better, some for the worse.
I blame Adam Silver, bro. I blame Adam Silver, really. I think he's just
Yeah.
made it very, very player friendly. And I agree, you should make it player friendly, but there's a limit. There's a limit to everything. You can't just give all the power to the players. You gotta restrict some stuff as well. Like him saying turning games into 10-minute quarters. Like, bro, are you serious? Like, dude, I get you wanna trip down the games of from 82, maybe make it a freaking 50 game season. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool. 82 is a lot of games, bro. Like if you actually play some basketball, bro, even playing at this age, even playing once a week is kind of tough. So I feel for the dudes that are around our age and older that they're playing 82 games in a season, bro, that's crazy. But sometimes you just got to restrict the player friendly and you just got to be strict on the rules of just the team.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be an interesting last couple of days of the NBA season, really, right here. Just looking over the standings right here. The Nuggets are sitting, like I was saying, in the 4th spot. They're sitting at 47 and 32. But it is so tight that if they manage to lose a couple of games in there, that's not gonna work out too well for them. They might fall down to the play-in tournament, man. It's definitely interesting. Football, it seems to work for a couple games. Whenever they get rid of the coach, it energizes the team. Basketball, I don't think it has the same effect. I think basketball is a little bit different.
Yeah. Before we move on, BG, what do y'all think about the Jaylen Brown comment on the player, the criticism? Can you be more specific? Because I know there was a few stuff that he said a few stuff on the $1 million excuse me. What's it called? The Gilly the Kid podcast. Damn, I forgot the name of it. $1 million worth of game podcast. That he said a few stuff on there about basketball and stuff. Obviously, he was a guest on there, so they gave him a few questions on basketball. But what exactly do you mean about the comment on the parlay era? What exact comment are you talking about? And if you're not there right now, don't worry. Just bring it up, and we'll continue this ride.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna I think that's just good. That's gonna be interesting to see. Like we were saying, we can maybe put Malone to bed since they did too. But I think it's gonna be a last few days to see what happens with the Nuggets. The Nuggets are, if you go by betting odds, I believe are still the 6th best odds to win the championship. So it's not as if this team they're expecting them to fall apart. We'll see how it works out with a new coach, and who turns around next year and what direction they go in. Because Jokic has about maybe 4 or 5 more prime years in him, and they got to surround him a little bit more. They got Michael Porter Jr., I believe, is coming up for free agency. There's just some players that they're going to have to make some moves. So maybe that was the reason behind they don't like the way that he's been constructing the team. It just seems like such a weird time to do it whenever you have a coach that has had proven records in the playoffs, including giving you your only championship, and you fire him 5 days before the playoffs. That just seems a little odd to me.
Yeah, super odd.
All right. Well, then, yeah, we're going to move from basketball. And if we go back to that one, fine. We can always jump back to that one. But we're going to keep it moving here. We had a new record. This record was absolutely insane. I cannot believe this actually happened. And most people that watch hockey did not expect this one to ever happen as well. And neither one of us are big hockey guys, so we're not going to try to come up here and act like we're big hockey guys. But like we were talking pre-show, real recognizes real, man. Game recognizes game, man. Alex Ovechkin has now surpassed Wayne Gretzky on the all-time goals list at 895. like we were saying, we're not big hockey guys, but you got to respect what the hell Alex Ovechkin has done. This record is something that I don't think many people ever thought was going to happen. Wayne Gretzky held this record for 31 years. And it's the amount of time that he played too, man. Ovechkin's always been a great player. He's been one of the faces of the league for the last few years. He's kind of tailing off, so people didn't know if he was going to actually be able to make it or not. But, man, Mr. G, Mike, man, this is a big thing, like I was saying before. I know we're not hockey guys, but this is a pretty big thing.
Dude, when I was in elementary, we would play, like, different sports for, like, 2 weeks, right? So we played street hockey for, like, 2 weeks, and I promise you in those 2 weeks, I probably only scored 1 goal. So just knowing that I could
The
only
realism
score
of it,
1
yeah.
goal. And if you know me personally, I'm a pretty athletic guy. I do play sports and stuff like that, and I could get the hang of things quick when it comes to sports. So when it comes to just knowing to score a goal in 2 weeks, and this guy has done it his whole career, scoring 895 goals, and he's still they're going into the playoffs. I'm guessing,
yes.
yeah. So he still has a chance to even break it for 900. And dude, like just knowing that, bro, that is very tough. And I've heard he's like the LeBron of NHL in the fact of his longevity. That he's been in the game so long, he's played for so long, and people respect him everywhere he goes. When it comes to hockey fans, when it comes to people in the organizations and stuff like that. So that right there is impressive itself. But congrats to him, man. I mean, dude, he's been putting in the work for sure, and you know that the hard work pays off.
Yeah, man. So while we hear reviews of the fans, just going to give him a tip of the cap, if you will, man. That's an impressive thing for him to do. But he's still not surpassing the great one, Wayne Gretzky. I just found this one to be really interesting, man. Wayne Gretzky was that dude so much that he retired he has the most career assists at 1,963 career assists. The second guy that's even close to him is Ron Francis, who retired in 2004. He had 1,249. So Gretzky still has 714 more assists than any other player. That is ridiculous.
He was playing since I was 9 years old. BG, on that comment of Jaylen Brown, tell me exactly what you meant, because I don't know what part you're talking about. But no, definitely playing since 9 years old, man. That's longevity, bro. That's impressive, man. That's impressive.
Yeah, man. That's just wild to me, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, we got some other pretty big news coming out of sports right here, man. We had a major baseball signing, and you ready for this one, guys? If you're into baseball, man, you know this name. It's Vlad Guerrero Jr., my man, and he just signed a new deal. 14 years, $500 million. Man, this deal is absolutely crazy. G Mike, I know we were talking about it before. He's one of the best hitters in the league. He finished, I believe, last year 6th in the MVP voting. You got any thoughts on Guerrero and the 14-year contract? There was a lot of rumors that he might have been going to your Yankees at one point in time. This deal almost seemed like it wasn't going to happen.
I wish. Or even the Marlins. I like the Marlins too, but we just suck, dude. It's ridiculous. I used to watch baseball a lot when I was a kid because I used to play it, but I've stepped away from it a lot. Trying to get back into it, but just knowing the fact that, like, when it comes to these baseball contracts, man, it's so amazing to me on how they reward their players with security blankets and the money on top of that. Because 14 years, bro, with 500 plus, whatever the case is, but just the 14 years, bro, like that to me is the ultimate sign of respect. Like, yo, we want you on our team for the next 14 years, bro. You know what that is? Like, and we're gonna pay you this amount of money, like, bro. Like, shout out to him, man. I know he's a great hitter. I saw him in the home run derby. I know his pops was a great hitter as well. When I was a kid, I was watching his pops play. So, you know, he has a chance to sustain a long and successful career if he continues to get better at his craft, maintain his body, not kill his mindset either. So, you know, that next 14 years can turn into 20 easily.
Yeah, so Vlad's the type of player as well. Like, I think that the contract's going to work out pretty well for him. He's at a good age for this contract to work if they believe he's the cornerstone piece for the next 14 years. I also believe that his mindset, like you were saying before, his dad was one of the greatest players. And I think that when you come from a family line like that, you understand and appreciate the game so much that I don't think he'll become a complacent player. Vlad was never like that as well, so I just don't see that coming out of him at all. So I think this contract is going to be pretty good. It's just a very large contract. It's actually the third largest contract behind Soto and Ohtani for a player eligible for arbitration. So it is just absolutely insane. Longevity. He deserves it. I was kind of hoping. I'm like we were saying before. You're a Yankees fan. I'm a Red Sox fan. Where I was kind of hoping that Boston might have been able to snag him. He had some rumors that he was linked to Boston, liked Boston, was thinking about it, but just never panned out. But the Blue Jays, man, they made the big move, and they're going to have their cornerstone piece. They'll see what's going to be happening here. They have a lot of problems they got to fix and iron out with their contracts now that they just gave him this one. They have a young nucleus that they got to try and figure out what is going to happen next. So that's going to be a TBD. But to going back to
real quick, let's start off with this one. Honestly, don't know where the MLB gets the money for the popularity being that low. That's actually a good point. I mean, the one thing I do know about the MLB with his money is that it's a private league. It's not like the NBA or the NFL that it's more public. I think it's more private. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong there, but they could probably be getting their money under the table. A lot of sponsorships,
the sponsorship deals are huge, and you have to also take into consideration as well is that there's 162 games just as a regular season. So if you're paying, you're paying for an 80 game package at least to advertise something. So you add a lot more to it opposed to the other leagues that are a little bit shorter.
Okay, that would actually make more sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's there, and the money goes along with it. It doesn't do great on television, but it still does great in the parks. They still sell their tickets, and you got to figure in. You take into account of, like I was saying before, the longevity of a season. Someone buys season tickets. That's a lot of games sold right there.
One thing that I did hear, and this is a conspiracy theory. Again, we do conspiracy theories here on Views from the Stands. One thing that I did hear is that the reason why the popularity is so low is because ESPN, which is the biggest network here in America that covers sports, they don't really cover the MLB because there is like some contract issues behind the scenes, and they don't want to be involved with covering the MLB because the MLB doesn't want to pay them. And so they're like, you know what?
Just backed out of Sunday Night Baseball. They're going to finish out for the season, and I want to say it was costing them close to like $400 or $500 million a season, or something just astronomical, a contract that they wanted for it. So they're going to be getting out of that. I think this is the last season Sunday Night Baseball is going to be on ESPN until they come around with a new contract. Now, baseball has been getting younger, and it's been some of these bright young stars have been bringing more eyes to it. The last couple of years have been a little bit better for baseball. We got the likes of Shohei Ohtani and Vlad Guerrero, and you got some younger players that are kind of bringing things back on Acuna that are bringing eyes to baseball. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see how long that lasts, because without ESPN, it's so weird. Baseball not being on ESPN. Baseball Tonight was a staple of ESPN for so many years, and if it's not there anymore, it just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I don't see it there often, honestly, at all. But yeah, there's a whole thing behind it when it comes to the MLB, but I think the money is still there for sure. And like the old saying goes, the old time money is always going to be there because baseball is America's pastime. So yeah. The old heads are still going to be watching it. They're going to get their families to watch it, their fans to watch it. The word of mouth is going to trickle down for sure. So I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think they just need more coverage for sure. And they signed a deal with Apple. I think it was like a few years back to put a lot of their games on Apple. So
it's going to be definitely interesting because everything's going to streaming to begin with. Everything is going to, all these networks want streaming. That's just the wave of the future is, let's face it, is streaming. That's where everybody's going to be on. So if they can land with the right streaming service, then I think it'll be actually very successful. I like some of the coverage they've been doing as well. They've been trying to get a lot more player generated. So they're doing a lot more interviews and during the game, and they're trying to get the personalities of these younger guys going to get a lot more eyes on the game itself. So I think they're doing the right thing. They're trying it out. They're trying to do new things. This torpedo bat thing has been pretty interesting. Rob Manfred's seemed like he's been willing to at least listen to different ideas on how to speed up the game. I think the pitch count clock has been a huge factor, making the game a lot faster, making it a lot better, just for a viewing experience at home. Baseball, wherever you're in the stadium, it's not the same. It doesn't really bother you the same way because there's stuff going on. You're looking around. When you're at home, you notice every second that the pitch isn't going. So I think that the making a pitch count, the clock, I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think that helped them out a lot.
Yeah. And let's do this last one before we move on to the next topic. Going back to the NBA, Jaylen Brown talking about the criticism from parlays and the people walking up to him in the street. Like, why does he care? He's the most expensive player in the league at that moment. Well, honestly, as an NBA player, you got people coming up to you and criticizing you because of your play, because of their parlays, whatever, and walking up to you on the street. And you're a public figure, so if you do anything physical, you're gonna get sued. If you try to hit them or whatever the case may be, you're gonna get sued, and then it's gonna be on you. When in fact, it's kind of in the line of self defense, maybe a little bit. But I get it. Like, I wouldn't want to be heckled by some random person on the street, especially that I'm a hothead. I get heckled by someone in the street, like saying, "Oh, you're trash. Oh, you suck." And some of them even go to distance. They start threatening their family. They start threatening them. They start saying a whole bunch of other stuff, some racist stuff, or whatever the case may be, just because you didn't hit on a prop in their parlay. Like, dude, I get it. I run a business when it comes to sports gambling. I do parlays every day. But at the end of the day, you have to be smart enough to know exactly what you're picking for your parlays. And if you don't hit, you don't hit. That is the name of the game. This is why people do not become big-time millionaires or billionaires or whatever the case may be with sports gambling, because it's just what if. You never know. It always goes 50-50. You never know. I feel like for the people that get super upset and super down because their parlays don't hit or their bets don't hit, like, dude, you have to be real with yourself and reality and know that your bet might not hit, and stop being a little girl about it.
So. Yeah, man, it's also gotten to the point as well with the college athletes. I'm sure when you're watching the national championship game and or in the March Madness, they've been having to make PSA ads because people have been harassing these college athletes so much because they didn't hit the parlay correctly. They didn't hit their fantasy football game, whatever it is. It's not that's not fair. It's a game, and it's not fair to the player. So you can't you have to. Can you I think you're on the right point of it. Can you imagine just being the other person on the other end of that? Just like you're walking on the street, you're trying to just go to your car. You had a bad game. The next thing you want to hear is some loser coming up to you telling you that you suck and you're, all these bad names and all these things, and you can't retaliate because that's what they want you to do, because then you go viral and then you're canceled again. So it's a lose-lose for the athletes. I don't really feel like it's fair for them, and it's a shame that we're even having to have conversations about this kind of stuff. It goes back to the sports gambling debate. Some people can't handle it. Some people don't look at it as just a game, and some people take it entirely too serious because it is their lifeline. And some people gamble on things that they shouldn't be gambling on because they don't have the money to do it. And we should really honestly, it sounds like a corny line, but that's what the always betting thing has always been. Don't bet money you don't have. Don't take. If it's your last dollar, it's probably not your smartest idea to go waste that on a bet that if it hits, great, then you're probably back in the same boat because you're probably going to do the same thing again. But if you don't have the money for it, don't do it.
Yeah, and the other thing, just to allude to this, when it comes to it, because it could easily be like, oh, but you're part of you're a professional athlete. That's what it comes with people talking smack to you and whatever. Like, yeah. It does, but you should, if you should appreciate the fact that if it was you and someone would do that to you, you wouldn't want to feel the same way. Because I know people who are watching this that are from Miami. Us in Miami, we're very prideful in defending ourselves. So I know for a fact, 110%, if we're out on the street and we're walking and someone says something to me or one of my boys in the group, saying something disrespectful, we're gonna want to turn around and try them and want to smack them. So it's like you have to put yourself in their shoes and just be like, yo, they're out there doing their job. Sometimes they have bad days, sometimes they have good days, just like us in our jobs or just regular days in the life. So it's like you got to put yourself in their shoes.
I always found that because you're an athlete, you're supposed to be able to get heckled. It's the only profession that you go up to somebody and start heckling them because they thought they had a bad game. You don't go up to, the postman or something like that, and hey, you put in the wrong mailbox or something like that and follow them around or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the only profession where that actually is allowed, and people seem to think that it's okay to do, and it's not.
Well, the other profession is being a server or bartender, because a lot of
Yeah.
those people get heckled. Being in the food industry and the customer service food industry, man, that is tough, bro. When you got a family that is very hungry and that food is taking forever to come out, and you're the person that's supposed to bring out that food,
Yeah.
man.
That's the one job I never had. Never worked in a
Dude,
restaurant
bro,
like
I
that.
bartended for 2 years, and I was a server for 1 year, so 3 in total. And man, bro, people act
People are just mean.
so different, bro. People act so different when they're hungry, man.
Yeah, I can imagine so. All right, man. Well, we're gonna go ahead and jump into some more basketball talk, man. And we had a big one come out of the NCAA. The UConn women have won another one, and this will be number 12 for them. Absolutely amazing, man. Let's see. Can you imagine 12 championships from one place, man? That is just absolutely insane. And it was actually, this one was a little bit behind, actually. Everybody just assumed, well, UConn wins all the time. It was about 11 years since UConn actually won. So this one, it was actually kind of interesting that it took a little while for their standards. G-Mike, did you get a chance to watch the game or anything like that? You got any thoughts on this, on UConn taking this?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but I have seen a page, and I've seen her TikTok, and she has a lot of videos of her balling. I've seen Chris Berkeley's TikTok that he has a lot of videos of her balling, training her, and all this stuff. I've seen a bunch of highlights of hers, man. I'm a big fan of hers. She's a baller. She's gonna be the number one pick in the WNBA draft, 100%, dude. I think like her ceiling is just skyrockets. A lot of people are comparing her to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark. Wow, butchered that. And it's not fair, really. They're trying to compare her in the sense of like she's not a great shooter as her, and she doesn't bring a lot of a flair and swagger like her and stuff like that. But Paige is her own person, man. And honestly, no matter what, she's still a baller. She's gonna go number one. And bro, congrats to UConn.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. They're just different people. You're allowed to be great and just have a different style of going. I totally agree. She's got the dog mentality in her as well. Caitlin Clark had that as well. I think that them two have done fantastic for women's sports just in general.
Yeah.
Two great ambassadors for it. They brought so many eyes to the forefront of actually watching girls basketball. I can't act like I was a women's college basketball fan before Caitlin Clark. I could probably count the number of games I watched in my entire life, but once Caitlin Clark kind of stepped on the scene, I did find myself being a lot more interested. Paige was the same kind of way. I feel bad for Juju that got hurt in the tournament as well. She's such a baller too. I love watching her play. So they're definitely on the rise for women's basketball. They're just getting so much better. They're playing so much more aggressive and. But yeah, I shout out to UConn for winning again. I totally agree with the comment. Gino is the GOAT. What he's doing is just absolutely amazing. And what's kind of wild too is that he's able to maintain having the respect from all the players. Sometimes after a certain amount of time, he's been coaching, I want to say, since 1983 at UConn. I could be completely wrong on that, but I thought I heard that stat that it's been something close to 30, 40 years, something like that. And for to be able to still be on top of the game, still be able to have the respect from the players and still have newer, younger players still want to come and learn from you. And every player that goes, they always seem like they have the utmost respect and always walk away saying that how much they enjoy playing for Gino. So I think what he's doing is amazing, and it's a shout out to him as well. Kudos for getting another championship.
Yeah, man, that's tough, man. 12 of them for the school. And then for the men's, they have like 6, I think, 5 or 6 or whatever the case.
So UConn, the university, I think it has 21 total. 6 are men and 12 are girls.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. So
crazy. Wow.
That's pretty. If
you guys want to go to a basketball school and you want to be a basketball legend, UConn.
Yeah, you got UConn. You got Notre Dame's doing their thing. South Carolina's doing their thing. LSU's been doing their thing as well. Yeah, and, they had USC last year, but that was a lot to do with Juju out there as well. But man, shout out to UConn for winning another one, man. That's a huge win for them. But having said that, there was another team that got a championship, and that is my Florida Gators, man. They dominated yesterday, and man, woo, I am super excited for this one. The Florida Gators take home the national championship, defeating Houston at a score of 65-63. And man, I was telling G Mike before the show, I'm glad this tournament is done. I don't think my heart could take another 8, 12, 9, 19, whatever the hell comeback they had to do every single game. The only team that did,
maybe the big 40.
Man, like I swear, the only game that they played that I wasn't like super nervous was the first game they played. They played Morehead State and then moved on there. Since they played UConn on, it was constantly having to come back. Shout out to Walter Clayton Jr., man. He did not have the greatest of first halves. Scored 0 points in the first half. Houston did a hell of a job of taking the ball out of his hands, and I love the defense that Houston played on him because they were taking away his strengths. They were constantly running the pick and roll, and he reminds me a lot. He's been getting the Curry kind of comparison, and I don't think anybody's really saying he's as good a shooter as Curry, but the way he creates his own shot and moves around the floor is very Curry-like. Yeah. But having said that, he made smart plays, and that's what I liked about Walter Clayton, and I think what's going to translate into the next year in the league in the NBA. Do you think he's going to be an NBA superstar? Do you think what's your thoughts on Clayton moving on the next step?
I think he's going to be a good role player. I think he could be a good role player. I think the comparison that you said, I'm sorry, the team that you said that he could go to, the Orlando Magic, I think that would be a good fit for him.
I like that fit for him.
They need someone who's going to put up more shots and actually drain them for sure. You know, maybe not in his first 2 years he'll be that type of player that can put up 15 points, but maybe in his third year and after that he could increase for sure. I think
he'll be a first rounder, or do you think?
No, I think he's a second rounder. I think he could be early or middle second round for any team that needs a point guard that can facilitate and actually shoot the three.
I think he'd be a steal in a second.
Yeah, I think if he puts in a lot more work when it comes to getting his body right, because I think he's a little chunky, but he could trim that off easily. And then maybe when it comes to getting his shot a little bit more perfected, even though obviously you can't do that, but to try to get it as excellent as possible, I think he can work on that, and he'll be a good point guard for any team.
Yeah, I think the reason I like the Orlando one is because they don't need someone else that can do defense, and he can play defense if he wants. He's got that dog mentality in him. He was a football player. We were talking about it before we went live. We actually had offers from Notre Dame, UF, Tennessee, and I can't remember another major football program. He was a safety. So the kid can play. He's an athlete no matter what he's going to do. He's going to be a pretty good player out there for that. So the other question I guess I have for you, and we were kind of talking about a little bit earlier, was do you think this was more of Florida just came out and won, or was it that Houston just blew it in the end?
I think Florida came out and won, right? So the first half, the whole storyline was Houston's defense. The way that they were covering Clayton Jr., he wasn't shooting any shots. He didn't even score a point in the first half. The way that they were making UF turn the ball over, before halftime, they probably had 12 turnovers, which is not regularly the case for UF, even though they had another game. They had another game that it was like that, but usually that's not their game. They protect the ball a lot. They know how to move the ball around. They make the right plays, and they make the right shot. They came out the second half, and I think the locker room halftime speech was, yo, y'all need to be tough. Y'all need to be tough. Y'all need to be tough. Because they came out in the second half playing so tough that they got 5 early fouls, right? And just a little side note, if you're a referee and you're reffing the first half like a UFC match, and
it was ridiculous.
The dudes out there are going crazy and smacking each other and playing physical. All right, cool. That's cool. Let the game play like that, right?
Right.
And then the second half, you start calling baby fouls and all this stuff. Like, dude, you need to call the whole game exactly the same. Exactly how you started, you need to call the game like that. That's just a side note. Whatever. They got 5 early fouls in the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever the case may be. They get down 12. People start thinking Houston's going to run away with it. But if you really watch Houston's game, they don't have offense like that. The reason why they're so good and got so deep into the tournament, into the national championship game, was because of how they would get the ball turned over and use that to their advantage to get points from defense to offense. So their offense, they really can't create much. So Florida is one of the best second half teams in NCAA history, in my opinion. And
Vegas,
they showed it. They showed it all tournament long. Vegas, they made the call of the road. They showed it all tournament long, and they showed it last night in the national championship game. Down 12 with 15 minutes left to go. They said, yo, it don't matter. The game's not over. So the fat lady sings. And the fat lady wasn't singing. She was there chilling in the sideline watching the game. Because them boys came back. Down 1 minute is when they took the lead. They only had the lead in the whole game for 1 minute and 7 seconds. That is crazy.
This is also why I'm glad the tournament's done. I can't handle that anymore.
And then Clayton Jr. showed that he can be a championship mentality type player, because the whole game he was getting strapped and he wasn't able to do anything of nothing. And then when it came down to the last 4 minutes of the game, they ran some specific plays for him, and he was drilling that. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Shots after shot after shot, going to the free throw line, making free throws, and he led his team to the win.
Yeah, I agree. And we were talking about, I mean, there was definitely more than just Clayton. Will Richard is the reason that they actually were even close in that game. He had half their points going into the half. So I can't just say it's not all about Clayton for sure. Condon, my guy, had some really clutch plays. But what I was talking about earlier, what I like about Clayton's game is that even though he wasn't making shots, he wasn't making bad decisions. He was still assisting. I think he ended up with like 9 or 10 assists or something, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, he's a great facilitator.
Great decisions on Condon, and I love the way that the big men were running. They were running down the floor because they realized the fact of they were faster than Houston was, because if they set them in the paint, Houston's dogs. They're gonna beat them up. The Florida's not built for that. It's more a little bit more finesse, So I love the fact that they were hustling down the court. There was a couple, and then what I also liked was that the frame of mind and Walter Clayton to realize whenever Houston got in foul trouble, same time Florida did. That's whenever he all of a sudden realized the fact of, okay, now I got.
Now I'm gonna drive. Now
I can drive.
Now I'm gonna try to take you right.
Yep.
One thing I wanted to ask you: the last shot right before Florida got the ball and the time ran out. The last shot that I forget the point guard's name, but dude, maybe. But you know what shot I'm talking about? That he was gonna take the shot, and Clayton came up, looked like he was about to block, and he just let it go, and he was like telling his teammate to come grab it. He's like, "Yo, if I touch it, it's gonna be a travel." You know that shot?
Yeah.
In that situation, are you shooting it no matter what, or do you know, yo, I'm gonna get this ball? There's gonna be 3 seconds left, 4 seconds left, 5 seconds left, whatever the case may be. I know Clayton is gonna be on top of me like white on rice. So why not pump fake and then take the shot? But if you're not thinking like that,
you're talking about Emmanuel Sharp from Houston.
Sharp.
Okay, Emmanuel Sharp from Houston. Yeah, because I was like, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so I mean, hindsight's a beautiful thing, man. Like you can looking back on it, But I think if I'm going to give Sharp some credit, at least he was smart enough to know the actual basketball and understand what the hell was going on. It was a fluke thing. He knew that he was going to get blocked if he did the shot. He could have jumped into him, sure.
I don't think it's about being smart, because I'm not saying that he's not intelligent. Because
no, I'm not saying not smart. I'm just saying I just thought that was a smart. Like at least he had the wherewithal to, even within what was going on, to know the fact that he's about to make a bad move here, and someone needs to help him out.
And that's where I disagree. I think you need to be aware of your situation. If you know that there's only a few seconds left, I don't care if he blocks it. I'm shooting that shit.
Okay, so you're saying you're taking the shot.
Yes, bro. In that situation, you're only like when he got the ball, it was like 7 seconds left, 7 or 8 seconds.
Yeah.
You drop the ball and you're expecting your teammate to come grab it. Okay, let's say your teammate does grab it. You think your teammate's gonna have enough time to turn around and take a shot? Oh right. Man, like you need to know your situational awareness at that time, and I think that has to do with coaching as well, right? But it also has to do with being a high level basketball IQ player. In that moment, you need to grab the ball, anticipate the defense is going to be close, pump fake, take the shot. Or if you're not going to pump fake, just take the shot, bro. Take the shot. If it gets blocked, you're still going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I'm trying to give the kid a benefit of the doubt because it was a bang bang play kind of thing. But I see I can see what you're saying in that moment in there. In hindsight, you like you're saying, you take the shot. Maybe the ref doesn't see what you did. Maybe the ref doesn't know. Maybe the ref calls. Maybe you hit the three, and now it's a 4-point play, game over. You know,
you do a small travel, move to the left, and turn to shoot, like whatever, dog. Like I don't know. I just me personally. At that point in the game, I'm gonna know exactly how much time is left and what is going on. That I'm not gonna try to shoot, see I'm about to get blocked, and just let the ball drop and be like, "Yo, come get it." Nah, I'm gonna shoot it. If he blocks it, he blocks it, bro. Whatever, good play.
I'm sure. That was such one of those situations that if you play that 9 times out of 10, I'm sure it doesn't pan out that way for him. Because Sharp is a good player. He was big time in our state in Florida. He was from Tampa. But yeah, I hate the fact of like we were saying before. Like I'm a diehard Florida Gators fan, so I'm happy with the result that we won and everything. But I hate the fact of that thrill of agony. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. That kid is always going to be associated with that. And the last few seconds, anytime you go over this game, you're going to go back in history, and it's always going to be, man, what could you have done better? What didn't you do there? And he's going to have to live with that one. But I think that he'll be able to get over it. He seemed like a good kid, and coaches will help him out and everything. But it sucks when that is how the whole thing ends out. What a comeback for Florida, though, man! I want to say it was the 3rd largest comeback in history of the tournament.
Bro, I would put my life savings on it right now. That after the game, he's like, "Yo, I should have shot it."
Yeah, no, I think without a doubt, I think there's no denying that one. But man, I just gotta say it one more time. It's great to be a Florida Gator, baby. Let's go. The national championships. I don't know if they're gonna be able to repeat. I think they're I like Todd Golden. I think he's a good young coach. It's going to be tough for them to repeat. So going into next season so far, Houston, ironically, Houston and Duke are the 2 favorites going into next year. We'll see how that plays out. Get a long time and a lot of stuff to figure out before that point. We got obviously another year to go, but it's all said and done. And my Florida Gators are the national championship winners, and that feels damn good to say.
Another thing before we move on. First time since 2008 that it's been all number 1 seeds to the Final Four, right? Mm-hmm. And this has to be because of NIL. It has to be because some players are staying behind, obviously, because of the NIL. Do you like this more than Cinderella teams coming out of nowhere and getting to Elite 8 or Final Four, and next thing you know, they're getting blown out by teams?
Well, I think Cinderella story, Cinderella teams are great for rounds 1 and 2. When you get to the Sweet 16 and beyond, I don't want to see McNeese in there anymore. Exactly. It's a cool story. It's fun. But let's face it, FIU was fun. FIU was fun when they made that run. Who was it? Was it
the golf course?
Yeah, that was a fun run. They dunked the ball, but it came down to finally okay, let's come back to reality that you can't just alley-oop every single play, and you know what I mean? So it is fun to see for the first two rounds. I'm not sure if I believe the whole hype that was the whole narrative that the NIL is going to take away from the small team anymore. I think that you're gonna have that's gonna come into a factor, yes, and I think there's no denying that. I just don't think it's going to be as much of a thing as they were making it out to be. That the Cinderella story's over. I think that there's still going to be certain programs just work. You got teams that you don't get a chance to play. Take an example, a couple of years ago, Colgate. I know no one knows what the hell Colgate is or whatever, but they shoot the 3. They average the most 3 points in a shot, and if they make those shots, there's not many people that can hang with them in the country because they can shoot it so high. I mean, they have no star players and probably no line out money. So I think the tournament really comes down to style of play and who you have to play to get to where you need to be. I think that Florida had a rough patch for being a number 1 seed. I felt like that they're actually kind of like the route they had to take was actually a pretty damn hard route to get to where they needed to go. I thought Duke had,
100%.
I think Duke kind of got the liberty. Well, Duke was the number 1 overall seed, was it, or was it Auburn? I thought it was Duke or Auburn.
The number 1 overall seed?
Yeah. Was it Duke
Auburn,
or was it Auburn? It was Auburn.
Duke was second.
Duke was second. Yeah, and so I kind of felt like Florida kind of got the shaft, if you will, in the route they had to go, but they were able to maintain. But if you look at you can also go a different route and say Duke was in such control for most of these games that they never really had to challenge. And once they played somebody like a challenge like a Houston, they were in the week. ACC was weak this year. Let's face it. There's no way around that. The ACC was very weak this year. And whenever they finally went up against Houston, now granted that was a whole debacle craziness that happened with that, but I think that you can kind of see the difference whenever they played a team that plays a little bit of better defense than what they've used to been playing, though, too.
Yeah, no. And if you're in the whole tournament, you're playing against defenses that are average, while your offense is off the charts, probably the best offense has been around for years, maybe. Then you go up against a team that has amazing defense. It's just going to throw you off. It's going to throw you off completely. And you saw it at the end of that Duke Houston game. A lot of people want to blame it on the fact of that foul call at the end, and that's why they lost. Bro, Duke was up like 14 with like 10 minutes left. And then with 8 minutes left, they were like up like 9. And then with like 2 minutes left, they're up like 6. Then like 1 minute left, they're up like 5. With 30 seconds left, they're up like 4. And it just kept trickling down and trickling down and trickling down. And that's because of Houston's defense, not anything else.
Do you think was there any players? I know we got like draft season coming up after the finals and all that good stuff like that. But was there any players, since it's fresh in the tournament, was there any players coming out of the tournament that impressed you more? That like, hey, they might be making some noise next round. Was there anybody that stuck out to you?
I mean, Cooper Flag for sure. Every time I saw him play, bro, it was just crazy. Dude's 6'10". He kind of reminds me of Jason Tatum a little bit. The way his style of play, the way he hustles as well. But not in the ISO. I think Jason Tatum does a lot of ISO play
all the time.
Yeah, I like Johnny Broom as well. I know they're from the top 2 teams in the tournament, but they're
it's fun. They're good.
Yeah, Johnny Broom is pretty dope too. I think he's going to be a good big man for any NBA team that needs a backup, a 6-man to come off the bench. I think he'll be good. Clayton for sure. I like buddy from Arizona, Caleb Love. I think Caleb Love has a nice stroke, no ditty. I think he can make the 3 from anywhere. I think he can make mid-range shots from anywhere. Yeah. And the way his dribble package, insane. But,
yeah, honestly, if I've mentioned him before, but the player that I liked the most that was in the tournament that I got to see watch was Derek Queen out of Maryland. I like his game a lot.
Yes,
that kid is good, man. For such a big man, he can handle the ball.
He made a game winner, nasty game winner. Even though he traveled.
Maybe. But yeah, that kid to me, I think rose his stock big time. Or he was already a highly touted player coming out. I think next year, I'm pretty sure he's going to be going into the league next year, especially after that performance that he had. Why not capitalize on it? But I think Derek Queen, man, if he goes to a right team, he reminds me almost like a Zach Randolph kind of guy, like a bigger body.
Back to the basket and get down right under the rim and just lay it up. Easily dunk it.
Very agile for his size, though, too. I think he needs to turn that into
footwork.
I think he needs to turn to a little bit more muscle. But I think he's young, man. I think he's only like 18. He's a freshman, so he's 18, 19 years old. But that kid, I think, is going to make some noise in the NBA if he goes pro next year or has another dominant year in college.
Put him in the Lakers. They need a big man.
Yeah, what happened to their old big man they had? Did he go somewhere?
I think he's on a whack team in the West.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that team, I almost forgot that we had him, didn't we? Oh, yeah.
That's about to be out of the play-in. Oh, man.
Yeah,
You still have a chance.
I don't want them to get in. Like, we need
You don't want them to get in? You don't want them to get in?
Come on, man. I don't want AD to get hurt again. Like, man.
Maybe set out AD, but, build some chemistry between the role players. Try to get them to try to shine,
We'll
see,
I don't know,
man.
We'll see. I just had such
any chance of more practice is good, bro.
That was both of our picks to go We both picked Dallas to win the West, didn't we? You picked Dallas with me?
Yep.
Yeah, man. I had set such high hopes of Dallas this year, man. Coming after last year, I thought they were going to
plummeted after that Luka injury. They just plummeted.
Yeah. All right, well, we got one more segment, and it's always a lot of fun, and we love to do this. And if you guys are out there watching, and you can please chime in. We always have fun with these ones, but it's our down bad debate for this week, and it's all tight end based. One got to go. We got, if you can't see on the screen, we got George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Trey McBride, fresh off the fresh contract, and Brock Bowers. All right, G Mike, I listen them off. You're up first, man. What are you doing, and how and why?
So we're going based off of last season, correct? Because Brock Bowers was a rookie.
I'll take it.
McBride, what first year a rookie as well? I don't remember. So if we're going based off last year, I think the easiest answer for me is Travis Kelce's because he's old. Like he doesn't run the same routes. He blocks decent, but he doesn't block the same as he was before. He dropped a lot of balls this season, like cost the Chiefs several plays to have them win important games, some in the Super Bowl as well. Let's not get that twisted. But I think just because of his age, bro, he's slower. He can't block the same. His hands are not the same. And I think everybody else, George Kittle, amazing blocker. He catch the ball. Whenever the ball's thrown to him, he's catching that bit. Brock Bowers, you already saw he could have been offensive rookie player of the year easily, but he didn't get it. And then there's a reason why McBride just got a huge contract extension now. So for me, it'll be Travis Kelce.
Man, this one's difficult as well because I think that Travis Kelce just brings so much to the Chiefs and what they actually do, and just the way they're able to get them open. I don't know how that guy, him and Gronk, it just blows my mind sometimes how these large ass guys like that's the size of them can just get open like that. It makes no sense to me at all. Now, granted, Travis Kelce's lost a few steps. He's not as fast as he used to be, but it just blew my mind all the time that, like, how do you not see this big-ass guy in the middle of the field each time, and you can't stop it? You know it's going
It's the play calling. It's the play calling, bro. Like, imagine, right? You have some certain players that are going to run a curl route or a deep route, and then you have some certain players who's going to do a drag, a slant, cut across the field, or go outside and play at the numbers. So the linebackers and the corners and the safety, they got to pick somebody. They got to pick a zone to cover, or they got to pick a man to cover. And sometimes if you're not playing man, sometimes tight ends are going to just block down, and you're not going to notice them, and then they're going to run out to a route.
Oh man, this one was pretty difficult just because if you're basing it off of last season, clearly it would be Travis Kelce. But if you're going off a career, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother debate, if you will. I think, man, I'm really reluctant just because I love what he does, but I think I'd have to get rid of Kittle. I know Kittle's the block, and he's the engine that runs the 49ers, by the way he's able to block and everything.
Especially
but
now.
What's that?
Especially now. Debo gone, Ayuk about to be gone.
Yeah.
McCaffrey might get traded as well.
Yeah, I think I would have to get rid of Kittle, and it's just because of maybe a part of his injury history. Seems like that he either plays way too damn hard, and he's never going to give you a whole 18 game season. So for that reason, and you know what you're going to get out of Travis Kelce. He's not very. He stayed pretty healthy most of his career, and he's also just fits into the system so well. I know you can say the same thing about Kittle as well, but I just think I would rather have Travis Kelce than George Kittle right now, but that hurts to say, and I don't like that I even said it as well.
Okay, so 2 rookies, 2 longevity guys. Travis Kelce, George Kittle in their prime. Who's got to go?
Whew, man, you threw me on the spot on that one. I wasn't thinking this one was coming. So we're going top bottom on here, right? Like we're going longevity kind of thing here, legend.
Yeah, just the top 2. And then we'll do the bottom 2 rookies. I want to know.
I think Travis Kelce's still in that one.
Yeah, me too. I think I'll take Travis because when he was in his peak, bro, his route running skills were crazy. His blocking was amazing, and he was never dropping balls before. I never saw Travis Kelce drop a ball before. This guy was giving like 3 touchdown games with only like 5 yards, getting down to the field, and all they do is just dump it to him.
Yeah.
So
I agree. That one's tough because they kind of play a little bit different styles here. I think the easiest answer, and I think the clear answer probably would be Brock Bowers, I think right now. But Trey McBride is such a key part of what Arizona does and who they are. And I think also he is hands down their best receiver, even with Marvin Harrison there right now. He's definitely the best one going right now on the team. I think he is probably the best receiver on that team, even with Marvin Harrison. But I think that Brock Bowers just brings a different dynamic. The speed that he brings, I would have to say Brock Bowers, but no disrespect to Trey McBride because I think that kid is amazing.
I think I have to go McBride because of his blocking, man. I feel like as a tight end, you really need to be good at blocking and to seal that edge for the quarterback or for the running back. It depends on what play you're running. And for me, the appreciation for the tight end position since I played it, I think you have to be good at blocking. And if you're awesome at running routes and catching the ball as well, that's dope. He only had one touchdown when it comes to receiving this season, but he was still doing his job. And Brock Bowers, he was more of a receiving tight end for sure. He's running routes. He's speedy. He can catch the ball anywhere on anybody as well. It's hard for linebackers to cover him, but I like the blocking aspect, and I think McBride is a better blocker.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting too if you even look and if you can try to compare each one of these guys, because they each have their own dynamic, what they do. Obviously George Kittle being the awesome blocker, obviously can run routes as well. Travis Kelce always seems to find a way to get open. Brock Bowers has the size and the speed, and I think Trey McBride, I think he's athletic as hell. The guy's mossing people, Yeah. So each one of these guys brings a different dynamic, all playing the same position. So it's pretty interesting to see the different dynamics and how you're able to use the tight end position for sure. I think it's an evolutionary position that's changed each year, and they're only getting better. And they've changed the game a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so let's go ahead and just wrap this up for one more time real quick, just making sure. So you are cutting
Travis Kelce. Bye-bye. Too old. Too slow.
I hate to do it, but I'm cutting George Kittle. Hate to do it because I love George Kittle. I think he's a funny-ass guy, too, and seems like he's a really cool guy. I'm cutting George Kittle. I know I'm going to regret that one, but all right, Mr. G, Mike, that is going to wrap it up for us on a Tuesday episode of Views from the Stands. We ended up, we were alluding to it earlier when we first started our schedule. We are trying to make this very consistent for you guys, make it easier for everybody. We're going to be doing Tuesdays at 7, Saturdays at 10. We hope that you guys are able to check us out and give us a like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. Let them all know they can all be a part of Views from the Stands. Mr. G, Mike, got anything for the people?
Yeah, thank you to BG and Crypto Wolf for tuning in and supporting the live broadcast. Guys, if you would leave a like, subscribe, and maybe write in the comments whenever you see the recorded episode posted up, that would be greatly appreciated. Please let your family, friends, and know that if they want to come on the show and talk some smack and let us know that we're wrong in everything that we say and we're right in everything that we say, it would be greatly appreciated if they want to come on. Or you could just write in the chat like these guys and just make fun of my hair, make fun of Steve's background. I don't know, but just come on, show support, whatever it is, and we would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. So stay safe out there. We will see you guys Saturday morning. We'll have a bunch of new stuff to talk about, and we hope to see you guys there. Take it easy breezy. Be safe out there, guys.